Yes, thanks a lot, Stacy, and welcome all to Booking.com's talk at FinOps X. I still remember this day last year. We were not out here in, well, usually sunny California, but we were in Amsterdam, where, of course, it was a typical day in June, where we had clouds and, of course, some light showers as well. We just finalized our Q3 forecasting process, where we had hundreds of queries in our support channels. Not only hundreds of queries, but also people contacting us directly on how to be better at FinOps forecasting processes, but also the budget approval process and how to optimize better. Next to that, we also just finalized the month of May, where we closed our books with a 25% forecasting variance, which was the worst month until then. Fast forward to until now, a year later, and things look a lot sunnier for us. That's because we added AI to our team as well. It was the hiring process itself was quite easy, but training it over the last year was quite difficult. We really needed to train it a lot to where we needed it to be. Today, we'll run you through 3 use cases on how we leverage AI and are transforming our FinOps practice. Click, click. Yes. I will not do that alone. I'll do that together with my senior director, Kieren Wade, who I work together with on a daily basis on everything that's cost-related in our field. 9 out of 10 times, I get a ping from Kieren in the morning, and he's asking me, hey, have you seen this cost anomaly? Or, hey, can you have a look at this report with me on certain costs that we incurred? Of course, I'm always there to help Kieren in my role as Senior Technical Program Manager. Kieren, over to you to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Christian. Hi, everybody. Just a quick introduction to my role. So I'm the Senior Director for leading our cloud and infrastructure teams at Booking.com. I've been with the company for around 18 years. It's a long story, so I won't go into all the detail. Let's just say I've held a number of tech leadership roles in the company over that period. So over the past few years, I've made it my personal mission to build a best-in-class FinOps function for our company. Christian is a key member of our team, and he's basically my go-to person for all FinOps queries. We talk a lot about FinOps. I think sometimes the conversations start with the words which I think he now dreads. I've had a great idea. And some of the things we're going to talk about today started from those conversations. Next slide, please. Yeah. Sorry, clicker problems. Here we go. So let's quickly just talk about our company. So at Booking.com, our mission is to make it easier for everybody to experience the world. So we're committed to providing great travel products and helping our customers explore all of the amazing destinations across the world. Part of our strategy is what we call the connected trip. Through the connected trip, we provide our customers with an integrated experience of booking multiple travel products together, which come together to form the trip. We leverage the best technology solutions available to deliver our mission and provide our customers with a great experience. Christian's going to talk a little bit about our scale.
Yes. So before I briefly dive into some facts and figures, can I see some hands of you have used Booking before? Okay, almost the entire room, which is good to see. So you're one of the 6.8 billion guest arrivals that we've had over the last years. We can only do that with our partners, of course, where we have 30 million listings, ranging from, of course, the hotels that you know, but also unique places to stay, like these mountain huts, but also homes as well on our platform. We do that at over 175,000 destinations. This is one of my personal favorites, and also a personal picture of mine, Cappadocia in Turkey. Definitely a must visit. We also have ways to get you there. For instance, flights to over 4,500 destinations worldwide, but also car rentals and taxis. Kieren, over to you to tell us a little bit about AI at Booking.
Yeah, so before we start to talk about FinOps, I want to talk a little bit about AI usage at Booking.com in general. So we have a very strong culture and appetite for AI in our company. What you see on the screen here is what we call our AI Trip Planner, which we launched in June 2023, so 2 years ago. I already can't believe it's that long. This provides a new way for our customers to discover travel destinations in a much more natural way. It provides travel needs that are tailored to customers' individual circumstances as well. Since then, we've gone on to deliver numerous AI features for our customers, things like smart filters, summarization of reviews on our website. We also use AI to help our partners as well. So for example, if you're a hotel, we provide tooling that leverages AI to help make it easier for you to respond to customer inquiries. We also have a very strong AI culture within, for our own people, with our staff and our employees as well. We provide many AI-enabled tools for our staff to use. Our vision is that we want to make all of our staff as productive as possible using AI, and that includes leveraging AI for Cloud FinOps. Before we talk about FinOps, I want to talk a little bit about values. Many companies have values or leadership principles or something similar. At Booking.com, we have values. We have 5 of them. I won't speak to them all, but I'm going to speak to the most important one for this presentation, think customer first. Sorry, 1 second. So we operate a two-sided marketplace, and we think about both the traveler and the partner as our customers. For our Cloud FinOps team, we have a different customer, which is our internal customer working in our tech engineering community. Thinking customer first here means that we need to make it as easy as possible for our engineering teams to build, deploy, and operate services on cloud. So over to Christian, who's going to talk about FinOps.
Yes. Then now over to really the FinOps bit. But before we really dive into the AI part, this is basically how we grew our FinOps capability at Booking. It all started in 2022, and you're thinking by yourself, for a relatively young platform company like Booking, isn't 2022 a little bit late to start a FinOps practice? And indeed, it might be a little bit late, but you should know that we relied and are still heavily relying on our optimized data centers as well. So we're just putting the first baby steps into a public cloud in 2022. Then in 2023, it became clear that we really needed to put the fundamentals in place. So we started with building out our FinOps operating model, all of the processes, such as a budget approval process, and started building a little bit of our optimization streams as well. Then fast forwarded to 2024, and the emphasis became clear. We really needed to get ready for scaling. We saw that our public cloud usage was increasing and will be increasing over the next couple of years. So we also really needed to get our FinOps capability ready for that scaling as well, and are still doing so today. The only way to really get that skill going was also by adding AI as one of our new FinOps team members. So Kieren, over to you to tell us a little bit more about the roles in our FinOps operating model.
Yes, so building on the customer first mindset, we've defined an operating model which works around what we call personas. A persona is effectively a grouping of our customers, and we have 5 of them. The first one is what we call the project cost owner. This person is responsible for forecasting and managing costs for an individual service. A service is a collection of development, test, and production accounts that are collected together for a service. Next, we have the secondary PCO, or project cost owner. This is just a backup for the PCO, and it's typically the manager of the project cost owner. We then have the extended leadership team member. So this is a member of our senior management team who's responsible for the business area that owns the service. This person is ultimately accountable for the cost of the service. Then we have the FinOps team. So we treat ourselves as our own customer. That's because we have various different roles in the team. We have analysts, we have engineers, we have myself, we have Christian as a program manager. We work together, and sometimes we need to build solutions that enable other people in the team to succeed and make their lives easier. So we apply the customer first mindset within our own team. And then finally, we have our FP&A, financial planning and analysis business controllers as well. So we've built a strong relationship of trust with our finance team, and they actually help us manage and operate some of our FinOps processes in parts of our business. But despite having a clear operating model, we still had some gaps. So over to Christian to tell you about the first one.
Yeah. We basically had 3 gaps that we identified basically mid last year. The first one was an apparent knowledge gap. This was really because all of our engineers are now introduced to the public cloud world. So we really saw a high frustration around the FinOps processes, like optimization, but also the budgeting approval process. And all of the engineers were still used to all of their data center, or at least being in a data center, and they really needed to get ready to go to the public cloud as well. We saw a large amount of questions in our support channels. So we as a FinOps team spent a lot of our time answering all of those questions. That was the first gap, and then the second gap was our forecasting accuracy, which Kieren will talk to you a little bit more about.
Thanks, Christian. So I think this is a problem that probably everybody in the room is familiar with. We've had a very high variance between our forecasts and our actual spend. Some months last year, we actually spent 30% less than we forecasted. I actually thought that was a really high number until I saw the keynote this morning and I realized that some people have had a 75% variance. So not too bad, but far too big for our liking as well. This made it really difficult for us to plan resources. It made it difficult for us to optimize our costs as well. It's very difficult to do things like procure savings plans if we're not sure that the actual spend is going to land and manifest. So we needed to come up with a better way and improve our forecasting accuracy. Over to Christian to tell you about our third gap.
Yes. The final and third gap was getting engineers to take action, which I've heard a lot about in the other sessions as well. For us, we had the data, the insights, and the recommendations, but really getting our engineers to take action on those recommendations still proved to be very difficult. So that was the last gap, and we really wanted to solve that in this year. Before we really go into the 3 use cases that we leveraged to find, or at least to close the 3 gaps, over to you, Kieren, to tell us a little bit more about the actual results that we got.
Yeah, so here's the results of what we've achieved by leveraging AI in our FinOps processes. In a moment, we'll talk about the 3 different use cases that have contributed to these results. But first of all, CSAT, or customer satisfaction. We've been able to increase our customer satisfaction with our engineering teams that navigate our FinOps processes to 4.3 out of 5. We didn't actually measure it beforehand, so we don't know what it was. I can't tell you what it was before, but we know from the feedback and that we were getting from our customers that it would have been much lower before. Then we have forecasting variance. I said earlier that we had a 30% variance at one point last year. In some of the months this year, we've had only a 1% variance between our forecasts and actuals. So leveraging machine learning and AI has really helped us reduce our forecasting variance. And the last one is optimization. So this year we are targeting to save more than double the amount of dollars by cost optimization than we did last year. Next year, I'm going to also be asking the team to increase again by another 100%. So that means over a 2 to 3 year period, that's a 4 to 5 times increase in the amount of money we've saved for optimization. To do that, we've really needed to bring optimization to front of mind for our customers. And we've leveraged AI to really help us do that. So, so over to Christian.
Yeah. So you're asking yourself, so how did you really get to those results? So we added AI as one of our FinOps team members. We're really in the process still, or at least a lot of the stuff is in production, but also some of the stuff that we'll show you today is not in production yet, but we do want to show you at least our ambitions and where we're heading towards on this space. It all started October 2024, where we did our annual planning. We developed the FinOps AI strategy. We looked at the milestones that we wanted to reach in 2025, and we looked at the different LLMs that we could use. Then we started with trial and error in January. It's all about, or at least a lot of the stuff in Booking is about embedding AI in these days. So we looked at all of the models that we had available to us, all the tools that were already there, and looked at what are the tools that we could use. We then started with a little bit of trial and error on which tools we could leverage in the FinOps processes. March was also a significant month for us. We launched the first FinOps-enabled AI products, specifically the AI FinOps Companion, but also AI forecasting in beta as well in that month. April until now have really been about embedding and also the future. We're measuring all of our successes as much as possible. And also we're looking at where can we integrate more AI into the future as well. So now over to the interesting bit. There's 3 AI use cases that we wanted to walk you through today. The first one is AI FinOps Companion. This is really to solve the knowledge gap for our engineers. So basically, by providing them with real-time, on-demand information around all of the FinOps processes, when they need it and where they need it. Then AI-assisted forecasting, which Kieren will talk to you about in a little bit as well, which was really about getting our variance to the lowest possible level. And lastly, we'll talk about AI-assisted optimization, which was about getting the engineers to take action and making it as easy as possible for them to take action on optimization recommendations. We'll start with the first one, the AI FinOps Companion. This was specifically designed to address our knowledge gap and reduce all the frustration around the FinOps processes that we introduced in the last couple of years. It was around providing real-time, on-demand data for all of the engineers within our company. So how did this work for us? What I just said, it was about helping customers in optimization and control. We already use Slack as our primary engagement platform. So this is where we met all of our engineers and where they asked all of the questions to us. We had a couple of team members that were answering their questions, but it grew massively over the months, until a moment where some of the FinOps team members were almost spending 80% of their time on answering questions. And therefore, we really thought, okay, hey, this needs to be different. We looked at the different tools that we had and utilized Cody and also Claude 3.5 to answer more of the questions. So how does this implementation actually look like? For us, of course, it starts with the customer. We looked at our Slack channel and we looked at the support that was there and looked at all of the frequently asked questions and also the resolutions that we provided. Then we created themes of questions that were being asked and structured all of our documentation accordingly. We created a Git repo, and in the Git repo, we structured all of our documentation and made sure that there were the right instructions for the Slack bot to take care of all of the questions. We then launched the FinOps AI Slack bot in training mode. So we basically connected it to a Slack channel where only us had access to. We started to fire a lot of questions towards it. Basically, 2 weeks long, we asked a lot of questions and saw the responses as well. Based on the responses, we changed the documentation in the Git repo, or we also changed the instructions to the bot. So for instance, we saw sometimes the bot answered with a long list of text, and the next instructions that we gave it is to only answer in bullet points, which made it a lot more clear for the customers as well. Then I have 2 examples to show you. This is a very easy one, where for instance, the question is, hey team, could you please assign ownership for these services as I'm now part of a new team and don't own these services anymore. Usually we had to go in, we had to say, hey, you can do this in this way. For us, you go to the engineering portal, you take a number of steps to change the service owner, and then they see that's it. But this question came along at one moment, maybe 10 times a day, because services can shift quite quickly within Booking. So that's why we started with this one in our FinOps Slack bot. And you can see it basically provides the right steps to change the project cost owner. And it also lets you know what will change with doing that, because notifications will change on the back of that as well. A more complex one is this one, for instance, where we have a question around savings plans. So the question is, hey team, we see our EC2 cost approximately double in March. We have a look and and we have lost our savings plan. What could be the reason? With some screenshots as well. You see that the bot answers, and maybe it's a little bit hard to read, but the bot basically explains what the reasons for this is. Maybe you lost your savings plan, or it's expired, and it also lets the team know on how to proceed further. So these are just 2 examples, but we have a lot more examples where the AI FinOps Companion was really able to help us here. So then over to the benefits. There's 4 clear benefits for us. The first one is instant answers 24/7. So as 70% of the questions in our support channels were process related, it was quite easy for us to fix it by getting all of the documentation fed into the ops bot, or into the Slack bot. Even when customers ask questions outside of office hours, there was a direct response from the ops bot, and we were able to help, if required, inside of office hours again. But most of the time, the answers were already provided by the ops bot already. Then the second benefit, which we didn't really expect before, was increased quality of response. We thought we would actually be better than a bot, right? But it wasn't really the case. The bot actually provided very clear structured answers with bullet points or numbered lists, so it made it a lot more easy to read than when we provided the answers. Next to that, often the quality of response was also better because the bot went out to the internet and basically retrieved information that we didn't know as a FinOps team directly. So it got more precise in answering the questions there. Then the third benefit was faster issue resolution, which is actually because of instant answers 24/7 and increased quality of response. We also saw that the issues were resolved faster as well, so which is better customer care. And then lastly, which was important for our FinOps team, was it freed up time for our FinOps team. Because we didn't have to answer all of the questions in the support channels anymore, it freed up time for more complex optimization queries and basically helping our customers one-on-one. If we then take one step back and look at a moment of reflection, it was all for us starting small and iterating. We didn't really try to build an all-encompassing bot at the get-go, but instead we focused on a core set of functionalities, frequently asked questions, and basically proceeded from there. This iterative approach allowed us to refine the companion based on real-world usage and ensure that we truly met our engineers in the end. So now we've talked about the AI FinOps companion. Next, over to AI-assisted forecasting, which is the second use case that we want to discuss.
Yes, thank you. So let's run through our second use case, which is AI-assisted forecasting. On to the next slide. So before I start to talk about the work we've done with AI, I want to just give a bit of background and explain how our forecasting processes work. So when you start to use cloud at booking.com, you are provided with a development account. That development account we actually budget and fund centrally. But then when you're ready to move into production, you request your production accounts, you need to provide a budget and a forecast. That's done via our engineering portal, which is hosted on Backstage. So the PCO submits the cost forecast on Backstage. Well, PCOs are then expected to reforecast their costs on a quarterly basis as well. So we have a quarterly cycle where we continuously refresh our budgets and our forecasts. Since the beginning of the year, we've added machine learning driven forecasts to our engineering portal. So what you see here, you can see forecasts provided, and this has really helped us to reduce the variance that we've had between forecasts and actuals as well. Now we're going to bring AI into the picture onto the next slide. So this is the architecture that we have. I won't speak to all of the components because I think most of it is quite straightforward. What you can see here is the models we're using. And the other one that probably needs a little bit of explanation is the booking FinOps layer. So this is a collection of custom tools that we've built, which contains things like metadata, account ownership information, and all of that stuff. So by bringing AI into the picture, we've really seen two main benefits. First of all, it allows us to connect the data sets much better. That creates data context, and that's really powerful. But the most important thing is it now creates the capability for our customers to interact with our forecasting capability. It's no longer just a number on a screen. Our customers can now start to ask questions about our forecasting. So things like context, you can ask questions like, how was the forecast generated? What's the rationale for the forecast? Scenarios, you can ask questions like, if I increase double the number of pods running my application from the beginning of next month, what will be the impact of the forecast? And then you get a new forecast. Optimization as well. You'll see in the example in a minute that our AI capabilities are really showing our customers how they can optimize their cost. So let me show you a couple of examples. So this is actually a raw output from our AI tooling. The only thing we've changed here is the project name, and we've changed some of the numbers so it's fake data. Well, what you can see is we started with a prompt here. Based on the actual incurred cost for project ABC123, suggest a forecast for the next 6 months. So you see it starts by giving you information about recent costs, make some observations. In particular, it calls out an anomaly in this use case of a low cost in February this year, which was an anomaly. Then it provides the forecast. It provides the rationale and suggestions around the forecast, and then recommendations as well. So, and that within those recommendations, we're showing our customers how they can optimize their cost. Let's take a look at another example. So again, the prompt here is tell me the per service cost for the project ABC123 for the last 12 months. Again, AI provides much more information than you would expect to get from a very simple prompt. It provides the service breakdown. It speaks about cost trends, observations. It shows the cost distribution between the different services. And again, it really speaks to potential areas of optimization. What I really love about this is the fact that in the FinOps team, we are responsible for the amount of dollars that we save through cost optimization. Every time our customer asks a question to our AI is giving answers back on how our customers can optimize their cost better as well. That will really help us drive the optimization value that we expect to see. So, on to what we've achieved. So, decreasing response times. So when we run our quarterly FinOps forecasting cycles, we measure the number of customers that respond in the first few days, in the first week, and the number of customers that actually respond within the 2-week time window that we provide them to do that. We've consistently seen over the last few months that response times have decreased. More people have responded faster to our processes, and we have less people that are not responding at all. It's really helping us, so our FinOps team don't need to chase our customers so much. Lower forecasting variance as well. Spoken about this already, but we've massively reduced our forecasting variance as a result of this. And we've increased our customer satisfaction. So every time our customers navigate our FinOps processes, we ask them for feedback. And we consistently see we're getting better feedback from our customers as well. So just on to a moment of reflection. So for this second use case, the moment of reflection is continuous improvement and opening doors. What we've found is that we started to build an AI infrastructure to solve 1 or 2 problems. And then we found that we could solve other problems using the same infrastructure as well. So we were able to continuously improve our FinOps processes, and new doors opened in terms of problems that we could solve. I'll give you an example. When I was writing the speaker notes for this conversation, I actually thought of 2 new use cases for AI within our FinOps process, but I've had an idea conversation about that yet, so. Okay, on to our third use case.
Yes, the third and final use case that we want to talk about is AI-assisted optimization. This is really about getting our engineers to take action on optimization recommendations. You're looking here at a high-level view of our AI-assisted optimization right-sizing funnel. It all starts with a number of recommendation inputs that we have here. We have recommendations from our CFM tooling, but also recommendations from cloud providers, and also our in-house database recommendations as well. Those 3 are basically combined and enabled by AI there. So we use Cody, which is aware of all of our code, to also recommend pieces of code and changes in the actual code of applications. We also use Claude as well as the underlying LLM to suggest how-tos on taking optimization recommendations and it suggests basically on how to best tackle those optimization recommendations. In the right-sizing engine itself, we've defined a number of policies that take into account the priority of recommendations, but also which recommendations we do and don't tackle. We also add a value there, and we add ownership information. Next to that, we also surface them back in the notification layer to all of the teams. We use Jira, Slack, and also Gmail there but also here, this is AI assistant, we use AI assistants as well by utilizing Glean. An example here, for instance, is that teams can ask, hey, which optimization recommendations do I still have in my backlog? And Glean will look at both Gmail, but also at Jira, and look at which optimization recommendations are there and which the team can action upon. Of course, in the end, we track the savings, we report the savings back to the teams, and also share the successes back to the teams as well. We're doing a lot in this space. Some of this, or at least a large part of this, is in production, but also a large part of this is still IDs, and we want to develop on this a lot further in the upcoming months as well. So what did AI-assisted optimization really bring us? So the benefits. First of all, it was providing context to recommendations. So for instance, by providing how-tos on how to tackle certain recommendations and also why certain recommendations should be tackled, it made the recommendations context-aware. And also, by doing that, it was easier for engineers to pick up those recommendations. I already touched upon it. It made it easier for engineers. So we really want to make it hands-off for engineers, that they get suggestions of pieces of code to implement, which make optimization recommendations not only easier, but also faster to implement. And lastly, it was about connecting the dots, because we also feed in budget information to our AI system, and also budget approval system information, and ownership information. It makes it one aware system of all the context that we have. So those are the three benefits that we reach with AI-assisted optimization. Then, to take a step back for one more time, one moment of reflection, for us, this was really about meeting your customers where they are. So instead of really having the recommendations in one place and just sitting them there, letting them sit there, we really wanted to bring them to the engineers themselves. So it was a lot easier for them to really take action and optimize. Kieren, over to you to wrap it all up.
Thank you. So we've come to the end of our story now. I want to just finish with three main thoughts. So first of all, I said at the beginning that we've made it our mission to build a best-in-class cloud FinOps capability for the organization. This is really helping us get there. We're both very proud of what we've achieved here so far, and we're only just getting started as well. There's so many more opportunities for us to leverage AI in our FinOps processes. And that leads me on to the second point as well. This is all great, but we still have challenges to solve. For example, I think we can do a much better job of data anomaly and spend anomaly detection in the organization, respond much faster to variations of spend, and bring those to our customers whenever there's a change in spend patterns. I also showed the AI-assisted forecasting as well, which is great if you have an existing service that we can provide a forecast. But if you're building something new, our teams still use cost calculators as well. They tell us that those are frustrating tools to use, and we believe that we want to build an AI-assisted cost calculator as well. There are many, many other AI opportunities available for us as well. So we've achieved and the third thought, we've achieved all of this by thinking customer first in our cloud FinOps journey. I would encourage you all to do the same. Thank you for listening to our story today.
Hey everyone, producer Andrew here. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. For more FinOps X 2025 content, go check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave comments and questions for all of our wonderful speakers. We appreciate your support.